Hi, my name is Brian Gromkowski, Director, Graduate Programs at the Cotsakos College of Business at William Patterson University. In this video, I'm going to discuss selecting a degree map for yourself. And if you haven't already, I recommend going back and first watching our Introduction and Academic Advisement video and our Credits and Foundation Courses video, because some of the information that you get from those videos will help better inform your decision on selecting a degree map for yourself. And this video will be a little bit clearer after you've reviewed those first. So with that being said, I'm going to switch over to slide deck real quick. So the College of Business provides 4 degree maps that are unique for each individual session throughout the academic year for all 9 of our WP Online MBA concentrations. And there are a couple variables that are going to come into play, and 2 primarily. First is which foundation courses, if any, you were waived from. And as I referenced in the prior video, there are 6 foundation courses in total for the MBA program. The other is going to be if you prefer our expedited track or our standard track. And what also comes into play is your academic goals, what you are comfortable with in terms of your course load, and professional goals as well. So when you take all that together, you're going to look over how many foundation courses do I have to take? You're going to look over am I more comfortable with the expedited track or the standard track? And does that align with what I'm hoping to accomplish here and the timeline in which I'm hoping to successfully complete my WP online degree? So you could see the expedited track for students who've gotten all of the foundation courses waived takes approximately 9 to 12 months to complete. For students who get some or no foundation courses waived, the expedited track could take anywhere from 14 to 21 months. For students who get all foundation courses waived and decide to go with the standard track, it's typically 19 to 20 months to complete the program. And finally, for students who get some or no foundation courses waived, the standard track would take about 26 months. So there is a lot to kind of take into account as you look over the degree maps and make the choice for yourself. Now, as I also referenced in one of the earlier videos, the degree maps account for projected course availability, for prerequisite requirements, and degree requirements for your specific concentration. So I can't stress enough, this is the one document that is accounting for all the different variables that come into play when you're selecting courses and the sequence in which they can be taken. So I do encourage you to select a degree map and follow it as closely as you can. And now there's the understanding that sometimes students may need to skip a session, either because it's a busy time of year for you, for your job, for your life. Sometimes individuals have to stop out for a semester, sometimes even longer. And there's always the possibility to get your degree map customized or altered to meet your personal needs. But for the vast majority of students, selecting a degree map and adhering to it will allow you to get from your first session to the final session as it's laid out in the degree map and allow you to graduate successfully and move on in your career and your professional life. So this is just one sample of a degree map. And in this case, knowing that it was going to go out publicly, I wanted to make sure it didn't become dated very quickly. So it's set to 2030 for spring session 1. And you can see that from spring session 1 of 2030 all the way through to spring session 2, 2031, it lays out which courses need to be taken, the order in which they need to be taken, and for many of the concentrations, some information on the bottom about which courses are prerequisites for others, so you see why they're laid out in the order that they are. And again, you can see this is a students who get some or no foundation courses waived degree map with an expedited track that'll take approximately 16 months for this particular student to complete their program. So I wanted you to have that visual real quick before I jumped on and started talking about some of the real nuanced stuff. So you have that sort of visual in your head. So again, you're going to select a degree map based on your concentration, which foundation courses you need to complete, which is based on which foundation courses, if any, you were waived from, your own personal schedule, and your academic goals. This is intended to guide your course selection from your first session all the way through to your last session for your program and provide a timeline that you can depend on so you know when you can expect to complete your degree. It also accounts for projected course availability. As I mentioned, not every course is offered in each session or each semester throughout the year. And many courses have prerequisite requirements, 1 or more. So it's accounting for that, which should help make things easier for you as you plan. So there are two scenarios under which a student can select a degree map, one of two, and follow it exactly how it's laid out with no deviation or adjustments or anything else needed. If you are a student who is waived from all 6 of our foundation courses, you should plan to follow the students who get all foundation courses waived, expedited, or standard track. For the expedited track, in all cases, students will typically be taking approximately 40 hours of work commitment per week on average. And once students get into those 3-credit core concentration elective courses, they're typically taking 2 3-credit courses per 7-week session, and each of those with about 20 hours of work commitment per week. For the standard track, students are typically taking about 20 hours of work commitment per week. And once you get into that point where you are taking 3-credit core and concentration courses exclusively, you're usually taking 1 3-credit course per session. So for a student who's away from all 6, you would choose either of those degree maps, and that's what you would follow from start to finish. Similarly, if you are a student who is not away from any of the 6 foundation courses, you should plan to follow the students who get some or no foundation courses waived degree map, either the expedited or the standard track. For students who are waived from 1 to 5 courses, it can be a little bit more nuanced, and I'm going to walk through each of those scenarios in the later slides. It's important to note that our 1.5 credit foundation courses are offered in each 7-week session throughout the year, spring, summer, and fall. Most core and concentration courses require anywhere from 1 to 3 of our foundation courses as a prerequisite requirement that I referenced before. And then again, a foundation course will carry approximately 10 hours of work commitment per week on average, while the 3-credit core concentration elective courses will carry about 20 hours of work commitment per week on average. That can vary by faculty member, that can vary by course, but that is the overall average that you can use when you're trying to determine what course load is appropriate for you and you're comfortable with. And then it is very common for students to take 2 of our 1.5 credit foundation courses in a 7-week session, and that's about 20 hours of work commitment per week when you do. So for a student who is waived from 5 of our foundation courses, the recommendation is typically in your first session to take the 1.5 credit foundation course that's required of you, and then RPS 6100, which is a 3-credit course that's applicable for all 9 of our MBA concentrations. So you'd be taking 4.5 credits, and it would be about 30 hours of work commitment per week on average during that session. In session 2, your second session, you can then plan to follow the students who get all foundation courses waived, expedited, or standard track degree map for your concentration. The only difference is, and the thing to keep in mind is you will have already completed RPS 6100, which will appear on that degree map. So it's usually pretty easy to make an adjustment and account for that. But if you have questions, just reach out to your advisor. We can help you compensate and make sure you know in which session you don't have to take a course based on that layout. For a student who's waived from 4 of our foundation courses, it's typically recommended that you complete your 2 required foundation courses in your first session. And then in the second session of your program, plan to follow the students who get all foundation courses waived, expedited, or standard track for your particular concentration. Again, that would be starting in the second 7-week session of your program. If you've been waived from 3 foundation courses, it's typically recommended that you take 2 of your required foundation courses for a total of 3 credits in your first session. And then in the second session, take the third 1.5 credit foundation course and RPS 6100. So 4.5 credits for that session. And then from that point forward, in your third session, you would follow the students who get all foundation courses waived, expedited, or standard track degree map for your concentration. And again, you would find that you've already completed RPS 6100, which will show on that degree map. So just take that into account when you're planning for the rest of your courses. Obviously, you don't need to register for that course again. And if you have questions, reach out to your advisor. We can let you know in which session you could move a course or not have to take a course since you've already completed RPS 6100. If you've been waived from 2 of our foundation courses, usually we would recommend taking 2 of your required foundation courses in your first session, 2 of your required foundation courses in your second session, and then in your third 7-week session, you can follow the students who get all foundation courses waived, expedited, or standard track degree map for your concentration. And again, that's pretty easy to follow, and you don't have to account for RPS 6100 because that's not applicable in that case. For a student who is waived from one foundation course, you are going to take two of your required foundation courses in your first session, two of your required foundation courses in your second session, your final 1.5 credit foundation course and RPS 6100 in your third session. And then in your fourth session is when you would plan to follow the students who get all foundation courses waived, expedited, or standard track degree map. And again, in this case, you will have completed RPS 6100, so just take that into account. And if you have questions, reach out to your advisor. Here is one more example of a degree map again, just so you could see it after I've kind of walked through some of those different scenarios. This is what it looks like when you get to that point when you're reviewing a students who get all foundation courses waived, expedited track degree map. In this case, the foundation courses are not included on it because they will have already been completed. It is just the 10 courses that are required, the core elective and concentration courses for this particular concentration. And you can see in this case, because it's an expedited track, because the foundation courses are completed, at this point in a student's degree, they can plan for it to take 9 months to complete the requirements that you see here. Again, I know that's a lot of nuanced information, but I know that's the types of questions that do pop up. I hope me walking through those different scenarios makes it a little bit clearer for you as you plan to select a degree map. And again, I can't stress enough, your academic advisor that sent your academic advisement email is here to support you, answer questions. If you have a unique scenario, reach out to us. If you're unclear on which degree map to choose, let us know. If you have questions, that's why we're here. But I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you feel more comfortable and confident selecting a degree map for yourself. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.